Hi everyone, welcome to today's session on computer networking. A little background about myself. My name is Praveen and I am working as a senior network engineer for 10 years. I have a broad range of expertise in network design, implementation, and troubleshooting complex network infrastructures. This video is dedicated for the people who are looking out for a job in networking or people who doesn't have an idea on where to start with after the graduation. After the graduation, everybody will end up with a question. So what is my career? To that big question, I will walk you through the world of networking and the opportunities and how to prepare yourself to get started in networking. So the first topic I'm going to discuss here, how to hone your skills in networking. How you get the networking skills. Say, for example, if you're applying for a job for a junior network engineer with zero experience, and how you're going to work and how you're going to solve the problem. The people may come to you and expect you to resolve their network connectivity issue. They may complain you that my server is not working, my application is not loading. All these questions, right? So how I'm going to resolve it? If you want answer for that, then you have to start grooming your skills in networking. You should know the end-to-end connection and how this network topology works and how you're going to resolve it. These are all the key principles you have to learn to be a network engineer. So now let's go back to the PowerPoint representation here. So this is an example, the data I have collected. So top IT jobs for every stage of your career. But if you look at your entry level, if you have zero experience in networking, right? If you look at that, the computer support specialist is in the top of the list. Then comes networking, then web developer. This is your entry level, 0 to 2 years experience. Your most demanding job is computer support specialist. And if you're mid-level, you gain some experience for 2 years. And if you look for your job opportunities, and again, network architects in the third of the list, right? But these people are very skillful people because they should know the end-to-end topology connection, the traffic flow in your network, right? That's network architect. If in the senior level, you can specialize your skills in cybersecurity. So you are the person to design and implement your security solutions in your company. So if you look for the junior network engineering jobs, what are the key requirements and responsibilities I should have to get the job? You should have a hands-on experience with the common software and hardware, proven experience as a network technician on relevant position, willing to travel to client location. This depends on the job, not necessarily you have to travel in every job. Analytical and problem solving skills. This is a key thing. So how you're going to solve the problem? If people are complaining that my server is not working, my print server is not working, my application is not loading, my application is slow, how are you going to prove it is not actually a network problem, it is a application problem? So you should have the skill. So you should have fundamentals of LAN and WAN networks, how it works, and you should be definitely good with TCP/IP protocols, but because that is the building block for all your communication. And excellent interpersonal and communication skills. You should definitely have a good communication skills. And what is your responsibility in your job? So you have to design and install well-functional computer networks connection and cabling. Example, you should know where to connect, what kind of cable is used, what is RJ45 cable, so where I should connect, where is the connector, what is the switch, what is the router. And you should know the difference of cables. What is Cat5? What is Cat6 cabling? You should know about all that. And test and configure software and maintain and repair hardware and peripheral devices. So example, if you connected your network, but still, if there is no network connection, so how you're going to test it. Example, I have a wireless here and I have a connection. If you go here, it is connected, right? So apart from that, if I go inside and if I check for additional details, example, if I go to my settings and if I can see my IP address and all the details for this communication. So my IP address is 192.168.0.104. Is it a private IP or is it a public IP? You should be good with IPs. You should be good with protocols. So here I am using Wi-Fi protocol. So you should definitely have a fair understanding about the protocols and the peripheral devices. Do a regular data backups to protect the organization environment and how you're going to back up your data. So you have to evaluate your network performance and find ways of improvement. Example, if somebody is complaining that my WAN connection, my internet connection is slow. So where I should see, where I should go and check for the problem. So to get definitely a fair idea and to hone your skills, and you should definitely, have a better skill. Not only with graduation, you can do it, right? So here comes the CCNA certification. So what is CCNA first? CCNA is a well-known certificate that is most industry recognized certificate. That is a Cisco exam, that is Cisco Certified Network Associate. That is a full form of CCNA. So everything you need to know about networking, especially if you're shy, if your senior is asking a question, and apparently if you don't know where to start and what is that, obviously we feel shy and we cannot talk with them. So if I want to make my foundation very stronger in networking, the first skill you have to do is you have to be very good with your skill enhancement. Example, you know all this, but you are not formally trained. So here comes the benefit of CCNA. But if you have your CCNA, you can enhance your skill. What I meant here is that how you're going to leverage your skill in the field of networking. Second thing, you may be applying to the multiple jobs, but you're not getting a proper response. You're not getting a call back from the recruiter because you might not added your skills. Example, if you are a CCNA certified, there are many chances that you will grab the recruiter's attention, because a person with zero experience in networking, but if you have a CCNA, then people think of it. So you definitely know about networks. You are definitely have a fair understanding of network. And CCNAs and everybody, they recognize CCNA because that is an industry recognized certificate. And once you get a job, you can advance your skills. It can be your routing and switching, or you want to be diversify your background to security. So that's going to be definitely a foundation for your advancements. Then being a certified, so you will get an attractive pay scale compared to compared to a graduate student. If you have an additional skill of CCNA, your pay scale may be a bit higher when compared to them. You will definitely have a network knowledge. You will definitely know how the LAN communication happens. And if there is any problem, how I am going to resolve it. Since you know networking, you can definitely solve the problem better than other people in the team. And then comes adaptability. So you'll be well adapted to the team. You can collaborate and talk to them. And instead of just going and asking how it works, if you talk about that and if you ask a question, definitely they're also interested and help you out. So resourceful learning. So it's like a bizarre if you go and try to find a problem. But since you have a strong background of networking understanding, you can definitely think more about that and you can solve it. Then finally, you can solve the problem with confidence. So these are the biggest takeaway you will take after you have your CCNA certifications. And what is next? Step one, you have to choose your specialization. Example, in IT, especially in networking, you have different domains and different expertise. Example, if you want to be good in routing and switching, you can be in a networking team. And if you want to be a part of the load balancer team, for Google server, they have a different load balancing servers. Your request may go to hits to google.com, but in the back end, there are multiple servers that's load balancing. Also, if there is a one server, if it is impacted or if something happened to that server, still your service runs smoothly without any problem. So that is, if you want to be a team of, if you want to work for the load balancer team, so you can be a part of that. So acquire knowledge, and you have to decide what is your domain, and based on that, you have to level up. So by taking the CCNA certification, the biggest advantage is you will have an hands-on experience, because with the help of the tools, you connect the devices, you create your own LAN infrastructure, you create your own WAN infrastructures, and you will use the LAN protocols. You will be very familiar with all the LAN protocols, and you will be familiar with all your WAN protocols, and you know how this internet works, and what is service provider, what is BGP, and you have a complete end-to-end understanding about networking. Step 4. So if you decided all that, and if you still want to pursue your career in networking, or your career, you want to pursue your career in the IT domain, and especially with the infrastructure support, you should definitely have your CCNA certification. Because without your foundation, without your routing and switching foundation, you cannot level up for your cyber security or your load balancing, anything. So you should definitely have your CCNA certification. Then you have to review and practice what you study, what you learned, and you have to follow the multiple blocks. You should be actively talking to the people who are working in the enterprise. That's how you can, travel in the world of CCNA. So then, okay, what I want the CCNAs, and what are all the skills I'll be carrying with me? The first thing is, you will differentiate and you will know what is network configuration. Example, all the computers are connected to the switch. The switch is one domain where it connects all your LAN network. And what are all the configurations I should do for the specific purpose? Example, for a port, what are the configuration I have to do for the port? If it is a global configuration, so like a device logging from the management plan perspective. So all this comes under the network configuration. Second thing, okay, I configured a couple of protocols, and if it is not working, I know how to use the specific commands and how I can think of it, and I can solve the problem. Example, if the port is down, if I give show IP interface brief, and I should see the active ports and the inactive ports. It's one typical example I'm telling here. There are many like this. And if your communication is breaking in the middle, I can use a restart. So you will know all your network troubleshooting steps and procedures to do it. And third thing, your routing and switching. So how the different networks are talking to each other, different LANs are talking to each other. So all this comes under your routing and switching. Then what are all the key protocols used for LAN? What are the key protocols used for WAN infrastructure? What are the key protocols used for management plane? What are all the key protocols used for data plane traffic? So you will learn all this in network protocols. Then you will be good with IP addressing. What is private IP addressing? Private IP addressing are used for LAN. And the public IP addresses are used for WAN communication, and you will know how to divide the networks, how you should do a subnetting. Then you will know the design principles. Example, if you have a complete end-to-end connection, and you will understand what is the difference between firewall, what is the difference between the firewall and the router, what is the role of a firewall in the network, and what is the role of the load balance in the network, what is the role of a modem, what is the role of the router, what is the role of the voice gateways, everything, the end-to-end network design principle. Then the network security. From the security standpoint, how we are going to allow and deny a specific traffic, and you will have an insight about user identification. You can do a threat defense, a lot of things in network security. And network monitoring. Okay, if all going well, that's fine. But if there is a bandwidth choking, if there is an internet connectivity problem, how you're going to find it? With the help of monitoring tools, something like SolarWinds, where you can see all your appliances added there. And if one device goes down, you will get an alert, you will start working on it. So you will do your network monitoring stuff. So you will have the complete understanding of your network infrastructure and how you're going to troubleshoot it. So then comes your jobs. So once I finish my CCNA, so what are the job roles available in the market? The first, the primary skill, you will have network administrator, whose roles and responsibilities is to manage the networks, manage the LAN and WAN infrastructure. If the WAN connection is down, how you're going to prove and how you're going to find. And there are a couple of people there joining the team, and you have to enable the ports for them. So you have a different LANs, different networks, and you have your monitoring tool to monitor all your appliances in your network. हेलो,
नमस्कार, मेरा नाम दीपांशु है, मैं कैंटारो सिस्टम से बात कर रहा हूँ.
And then, what is network security analyst? So the network security analyst is responsible for all your security solutions. Example, your Cisco ICE, your Cisco firewall, or can be a Palo Alto firewall, Fortigate firewall. He's the key and responsible person sitting there in the, and he manages all this devices. He will work for the upgrade. He will work for the new rules, what should be allowed and what should be denied. Is there any vulnerability in the particular application? He's the key responsible person for all that. Network support engineer, you can work for a Cisco tag, you can work for Fortinet tag. You will be specialized in one product, and you will be very deep about that. And yeah, you will get a good salary with network support engineer. And if you gain more experience down the line, so you will be a network consultant, and you will be an information security analyst, and you will be a cyber security analyst. And their key responsibilities are to build the design for the team and to implement without any flaws and glitches. And if there is any problem, they will be in the background who will be fixing all this problem. So what is the salary? That's key question. I mean, what is the salary I would get to after finishing this certification? After you finish this certification, and if you're really good at what you studied and what you learned, you'll get a salary scale from 2,50,000 per year to 6 lakhs. So it depends on your skills and the company where you got an offer. And you can compare your scale with other countries. In United States, you will get a base salary of 50,000 US dollars. The same way applies for multiple countries. So this is always an evergreen technology. And say, for example, you got a job, and as far as your company is willing to offer a remote job for you, and there are thousands of remote jobs opening for networking. So there is no problem in even if you get a job in a different location, you can still support them with remote support. All you need in an application like Putty and the monitoring tools, and you're going to do your changes. And if you have, you will definitely given with a VPN connection to their company, and you can give your remote support. So you don't want to be physically in the office location to do your work. So then comes, so we have gone through everything. Now, I'm here to explain you the packet flow, because packet flow is it's a primary skill, or I would say the primary understanding you should have when you start your career in networking, because you should know, right, how these packets are being exchanged between the computers. The very first protocol I would suggest, and everybody should be aware of, is ARP. That is Address Resolution Protocol. So Address Resolution Protocol is a protocol or procedure that connects an every changing internet protocol IP address to the physical machine address, also known as media access control MAC address, the local area network. And before that, I know everybody is getting started, so I want to give you a good understanding about what is LAN, what is IP, what is a MAC address. These three informations are very vital to understand this communication, and this is the primary skill set you should have before you start with any other expertise. You want to be good with this basic IP end-to-end communication. To do that, let me open up my whiteboard. So how address resolution protocol works, how ARP works before that, but how this IP communication is happening. So example, if I take this host computer and I opened a google.com, this computer, I have opened a google.com. Have you ever wondered how exactly this computer is talking to google.com? So here we are focusing on only ARP and how the packet flow happens in the network, right? So I don't know about anything about google.com, but how I can reach it. So all this communication is happening through the IP addressing. So for google.com, actually for google.com, there will be an IP address. Example, if I say 8.8.8 is Google DNS. So the DNS is doing this mapping for the, I would say for the very easy remembrance, they tied all these names with IP address. That is called domain name system. Sorry for that, domain name system. So if I want to reach this network, if you look at this, I don't own this network. I don't know where is it, right? But I have to reach to this DNS. So I have a connection to the internet cloud. It can be a wireless modem at home, and it can be an enterprise router. So how I'm going to reach google.com? So for this ARP works, I told you ARP is to find your hardware address. What is hardware address? That is MAC address. That is given for every host in the world. Even if you have your mobile phone connected at home, you will have your MAC address. That is a unique address. Nobody can own it other than you. That is the unique address given to you, MAC address. So if you look at this diagram, there is No, I don't know anything about this network because that is not connected to me. It is not in my LAN, either in my other LAN segments. I don't see this IP address. So the very first thing what this host is going to do here. So what are the key parameters to forward my packets? First, I should know my destination IP address, my source IP address. I should know my source MAC address, and I should know my destination MAC address. Cool. So far, so good. So it's 8.8.8.8. That is Google. I want to reach there. So example, this host here. So it got an address 34.40.21.16. So my IP address, source IP address is 34.40.21.16. So what is my source MAC address? Example, I am giving a MAC address of AA here. Just for the representation, that is a 32-bit address, 48-bit addressing. So here, for an example, I gave AA just to, then we can remember it very easily. It's no much complexity to understand. For a better understanding, I made it as an AA. It's my source MAC address, but do I know the destination MAC address? I don't know the destination MAC address. So here comes the ARP. ARP request. So I have all this information in my ARP request. So I send an ARP request from here. ARP request is a broadcast. Broadcast is for everyone in the network. It goes to this computer, it goes to this computer, it goes to this computer, everywhere. But nobody owns this IP address. So I'm not getting an ARP reply back. So what this host computer is going to do here, it's going to tell the router, I don't know where is the destination MAC address. I'm sending this ARP request. So you are the responsible person to respond back. And this guy is going to say, this router is going to say, okay, my IP address, right? My IP address over here for my LAN connection, that's 34.40.21.16. Sorry for that. Let me erase this, write it properly. So now my IP address is 34.40.21.25. So it's going to send, okay, you forward this request to me. I will try to find where is this guy. Where is 8.8.8? So who is going to respond for this ARP request? This router is going to send an ARP reply back. This is going to send the ARP reply. Got it? So the packet comes here. So now this router is going to check inside the routing table. What is the routing table? It should have all this route information. Do I know about this 8 network? Apparently no, I don't know where is it. It's out there in the internet. So what happens here, inside the routing table, you will see a specific route like default route. Default route is, if I don't know anything about that particular network, I'm going to forward this to the internet backbone, my internet service provider here. So example, his IP address is 20.0.0.1 and my IP address is 20.0.0.2 here, this router. So I'm going to send this to 20.0.0.1. So what happens here? I don't know this. So it's going to send an ARP and this ISP is going to reply back with ARP reply. So who sends an ARP request now? This router again, he sends an ARP request. So what does the new ARP request looks like here? So my source IP address is 20.0.0.2, my router address. And the destination IP address is 8.8.8.8 because that's the destination I want to reach. And my source MAC would be this, CC. Let me write it one more time. So my source IP now is 20.0.0.2. My destination IP would be 8.8.8. My source MAC address, CC, and my destination MAC, FF, this ISP router here. So this guy is going to reply back for my ARP request. So for my ARP request, this ISP router will reply back the ARP reply. So it goes here and this ARP request is keep on happening in every hop. And finally, it reaches the google.com. The whole point of this ARP is to find the destination MAC address. If I don't know the destination MAC address, I cannot forward my packet. So this is how the ARP works. So this is a demonstration purpose. So we don't want to confuse you much, but in the actual classes, we will explain you every single packet and how exactly it happens from every devices and with the lab, with the show commands and with the troubleshooting commands and along with Wireshark capture, you will see what are all the informations you have inside the ARP request and who is sending an ARP reply back. So let me take you back to the presentation again. So if you look at this host with an IP address 10.1.1.1 and the gateway is 10.1.1.2, gateway is this interface of this router because that is the gateway because the router know how to do routing. So if this computer want to talk to this 12.1.1.1, this switch is not aware of this. So apparently what happens here, this computer is going to send an ARP request. For this ARP request, it will broadcast it out in all the ports. And I don't have the destination MAC address of this. So what this computer is going to do, this computer is going to forward this packet to this router. And this router's interface, every interface has a unique MAC address. It's going to give this MAC address for the forwarding. So your packet comes here, your packet reaches here. So your packet reaches here. And from here, again, the router is going to do an ARP request. For this ARP request, this computer is going to say, I know where is 12 network. It's inside my routing table. I will send an ARP reply back to you. You forward this packet to me. Then this router is going to do again an ARP request for this. And this computer is going to say, I am 12.12.1.1 and my MAC address is B, for example, I'm telling. So it's going to put this information, the ARP reply ARP request. I did an ARP request and I got an ARP reply. When the ARP reply, I got the MAC address of this host B, then this packet will be forwarded back to this computer. That's how it works. If you look at this, you can see the ARP request. So destination is a broadcast. It sends for everyone. I want the MAC address of 10.0.0.2. So being in the same network, this computer is going to reply back. But if this computer is in a different network, like 30 network, so again, the router is going to do the ARP request and it will be carried out until it reaches the destination. This is the magic of ARP. So if you look at the ARP reply back, if you see the center MAC address is 0303A6, the center MAC address, ARP reply, and the center IP is 192.168.0.1. So here we taken a different example. The target MAC address is 4143.